I swear that's like magic. It sounds as if you were playing with 2 or 3 guitars accompanying you, and I know everybody tells you that. But is this your own technique, or is it something you just decided was the only way to play a guitar until people told you you're doing the impossible?
Well, it is my own technique in the sense that I had thought of it on my own. I didn't have anyone, that I was patterning myself after.
Yeah.
But other people have thought of it. And since I've found out about some of the other people who've thought of it, I've learned a lot from listening to them.
You can't be old enough to remember Jimi Hendrix from the earliest days.
Oh, yeah, I remember him on your show, in fact.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think he only did my show. I'm not sure about that. I think it's certainly the only one he ever talked on, I'm pretty sure. Because every week somebody says, why don't you show your old Jimi Hendrix? The first one, he didn't show up. He was wiped out after Woodstock.
Oh.
How old were you at the time of Woodstock, out of curiosity?
I guess I was 10 then.
Yeah. Yeah, we were about the same age then.
And that's when I was...
It's afraid you were younger than I am for a minute. But what was it about Hendrix? I know when he rehearsed in my studio, the musicians, the guys in the Rosengarten band were and are among the best musicians in the world, and they just said, this guy does impossible things. Now they talk about you the same way. What did you like about Hendrix? Anything?
One of the first things that I liked about his music is that, I have to tell you, first I started out as a classical pianist.
Yep.
And I didn't start playing guitar till I was about 10 or 11, really 11. And so for me, the best musicians were virtuosos. I mean, I liked people who could just sort of play nice melodies, but virtuosos were what was happening for me. And when I first heard Hendrix, he was the first rock virtuoso that I had ever heard. And that was really inspiring to me because I realized that you could be in a rock format and still be a great musician.
That probably still comes as a surprise to some people who don't know that there's any great music in rock.
Well, the people in those days, they really had to fight a battle.
Yeah.
They worked really hard to bring the kind of music they played into the mainstream. It's mainstream now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of the young kids growing up now figured all this stuff's been around for a long time. But people in those days really had it a lot more difficult, I think.
Yeah. And what I like is when you guys light your guitar on fire and then smash it to pieces. That must take a lot of study, doesn't it? I mean, do they teach that at Juilliard, the guitar burning and smashing, or do they do that anymore?
The closest I ever came to that was I almost had to defend myself against the guy who stormed the stage. But that's about it.
Oh,
I mean, I don't do that as part of my act.
An over-enthusiastic fan?
Or over-drunk or something. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a problem in performing, isn't it? I saw Mick Jagger just have a Coke bottle miss his head by centimeters one time in Madison Square Garden.
Well, with the kind of music that I play, it's not really that much of a problem. I mean, this one time was the only time anyone ever jumped up on the stage when I was playing.
He may have wanted your autograph.
Well, the thing about it is that I think that it is true when you play in places where everybody's drinking a lot. And in that case, people were drinking a lot, and that does have an effect.
What was your break? You were kind of a street musician, weren't you?
Yeah.
In fact, not kind of a street musician, you were. Yeah. How do you get your piano around town when you're a street musician?
Well, I was playing guitar.
Oh, I see, okay.
Well, I wasn't only playing in the street.
Yeah.
But that was my favorite way of getting out and meeting people and just playing, because I had always felt that it was important to me to get my music heard, but I also had a lot of problems with the industry, because in order to get known by anyone with the power to help your career, you have to go through so many things. You have to know somebody, or, you know, you can't just send someone a tape and they'll listen to it and sign you up the next week.
It doesn't happen that way.
No, it doesn't. And I wasn't really in a hurry for that to happen, because I had heard too many stories about people getting real famous real fast, and it changes their lives, and they don't really know how to handle it that well. And what I was more interested in was developing my music and getting to the point where, hey, if I was great, people would want to hear me. That's what I figured. So what I did is just concentrated on playing in the street so I could have a lot more time to develop my music and still meet people gradually.
I'm glad things are moving at a healthy pace for you. Stanley, it's a treat to have you here. It's just a treat.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Good to be on your show.
We'll be right back. Crime for me to sit here talking while we have you here, and we have run out of time. Another crime, a prime commodity around here. Could you play a little something for no extra money?
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay. Kid has character.
Okay.
This is one step down from the street doing this show. Stanley Jordan.
First.